dream within a dream. 400 years overslept, searching for the time, so I turned to the ref. And he seems to think there's only 2 years left. Wait, 2013, catch a New Year's breath. Good morning. I'm paranoid when I'm all alone. They got me watching what I say when I hold the phone. Now I'm cautious down to my last chromosome. Illuminati, I don't even eat Toblerone. My body's hooked up to a computer. My brain is connected to a wireless router. I'm searching for the truth, but it's misconstrued. Glued to YouTube, getting more confused. Is it true? I sit very calm with a chip on my shoulder, chip in my palm, and my split's very strong. I need to go to bed. Conspiracies and cheese is fucking with my head. Good night, but I can't escape, I don't have a chance, cause I'm still plugged into my avatar. When I'm asleep I write these songs in the night time. You don't believe me, read my palm, see my lifeline. The area that I'm in caps or burst chrome. Let the one without sin cast the first stone. Cause I've been blackballed all my life, so I fuck who I want, and I say what I like, and I type what I think. I tweet what I feel, but it's hard to distinguish what's real. And in my wet dreams, I always welcome women with a good walk. Wake up, wash my wheelie, then wish them good luck. I got a little girl, so I shouldn't say that. What goes around comes around ASAP, but daddy won't play that. That's how the world turns, but no dad deserves to get large fish burns. I'm still developing like a tadpole. That's why my haters never had goals. All they wanna do is stop me climbing up the flagpole. They wanna shoot me, turn my stomach into spag bowl. Blah blah, what a price to pay. I watch man's gang bang their whole life away and leave behind a baby mother with no help. The curse of giving birth before she gets to know herself. They say I don't release enough material, so here's a free download, here you go. I'm still original, every time you hear the flow. I still have black girls in my videos. I need to be free and escape, but don't know if I'm asleep or I'm awake, so I pinch myself. My soul's full of love, but my talk is so raw. My brain's on drugs, but my heart is so pure. A dream within a dream, where things ain't always what it seems. Controlled by the images we see on our screens. Need more than 2 eyes to see what it means. Inception. A dream within a dream. We need more than 2 eyes to see what it means. Inception.
Of the enlightened beings are the gods, or the ascended masters. You see what I'm saying? It was able to go to a certain level of attainment, and their bodies radiate. That's the glorified spirits that they talk about that Jesus is supposed to take us to. Right. Do you know that Dante's Inferno has a picture in the Dante, because they got illustrations of the Dante's Inferno. They got a picture of a gateway, a ball of light, and there's a gateway that's opened up. But when you, and it's just a pulsating ball of light, but when you look closer into this gateway, what you'll really see is thousands and thousands of angels or light beings. Yes. Thousands and thousands. It's a circle, but when you look into the circle, you just see thousands and thousands of angels with wings. That's the gateway. And that's what's permeating. Those are the chakras of the gods or the angels. Now, this is the last part, because recently they just had 5 segments on the History Channel called Ancient Aliens. I got all 5 recorded, called Ancient Aliens. The 5th one, they started being concerned about what will happen if the angels visit us, the aliens visit us, because clearly we can't visit them, we don't have the technology. And they made a mention again by 2 people. Stephen Hawkins made mention a month ago that if the aliens come, they're going to be hostile. Now, he don't bit more know that from anything in the world, but does he know something, or do they know something? Now, check it out. I didn't know that Pope Benedict also said we need to get ready for the aliens. And he explained it in this way. Well, clearly you can't think that God's energy or God's power is just subject to our finite minds. God's mysteries, if God is the greatest thing in the universe, then they have to include aliens too. So they're setting all this stuff up. They're setting all this stuff up, but they're trying to get you scared of you. Now, give you the last little piece. Last time I was on, I told you that the discs are the UFOs, or the ships, are the chakras. The chakras of our glorified people. Remember I talked about that? All right. Let me give you what the alien is. What's driving the ship? Remember the movie Meet Dave with Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Who was the commander up in that baby? Eddie Murphy and the old fine-ass Gabrielle Union or what have you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
Yes, sir. Now, check it out. Check this out. The bald-head alien that you see with the big eyes that they've been showing since the 1960s. You know, now we explained that we don't have abductions. The abductions were started by the government from 1947 on up to now. Why would an alien, which is not even physical, because we talk about angelic beings or glorified beings, come down here and play with somebody's booty hole? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
And violate somebody. You see, you know, but see, this is where racism comes in. They can't even, they're so racist until their whole sociopathic mindset to what aliens is going to bypass the oldest people on earth and go, you understand what I'm saying? If they're going to study somebody and go study the Johnny-come-latelys. You see, if you're trying to study the origin of the species on earth. So, you know, that whole thing is all a bunch of hoax to throw you off that we, not only is it the angels and aliens, but it's the ancestors and aliens. And then let's find out what is the alien driving the ships.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The bug-eyed deity that they showed in Fire in the Sky with D.B. Sweeney, Fire in the Sky, when it was in the ship, they looked in the closet and they had these suits hanging in the closet with the big bald-head alien with the bug eyes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, you must understand that that design of aliens that they always show now and trying to front since Roswell, but they've been trying to show now, came from a drawing that appeared in 1919 in the Greenwich Village by Aleister Crowley called Lamb. Lamb is an extraterrestrial intelligence in which Crowley was in an astral contact with. Here's the word astral again, okay? In 1919. Right. The drawing by Crowley appeared in an exhibition held in Greenwich Village, New York City, the same year. Because Aleister Crowley was from Britain, but I think he stayed a year in New York or 2 years in New York. I think it might have been a year. But he went to Greenwich Village, and he at an art exhibition, he gave in 1919 the first version of the aliens that the government been using, and they've been using on movies for years. It's the same one. He gave a drawing, but his he got from an astral vision of a god called Lamb, an extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, this is the key on this. This is the key. They took that drawing and they made the eyes bigger because the other one has regular eyes. They took that drawing and they made it into the big-eyed version, and they've been using that same version of an alien for years. and trying to make it a physical. He got it from an astrovision. Now, if you really study the drawing of a lamb, he has a certain shape of a head. Now, they tell you that the pineal gland is in the shape of a grain of corn. That is why Osiris is a corn deity. Is a corn deity. It's in the shape of a grain of corn. When you look at Lamb's head in this picture from 1919, his head is in the shape of a grain of corn. The extraterrestrial known as Lamb, or the extraterrestrials out here, that they have been copying it and modified, but the original one was from Crawley. Those extraterrestrials are none other than the pineal gland. That is the alien. So when they said they are afraid of aliens coming, they're afraid of activated pineal glands.
Right,
That's the mystery. Lamb has the shape of an egg or the shape of a grain of corn, which is the pineal gland. Your aliens are nothing but the activated pineal gland, which is the eye of Heru, which the eye of Heru is seen riding on a ship in Egypt. The winged disc of Heru Bahutit, a ship, a disc. Alchemical principles is also going on. You see what I'm saying? So in so many words, Medusa that was on lockdown that rose up recently is nothing but components of our inner self. You see what I'm saying? We are the Medusa. It's the return of the divine feminine, which is in both male and female. So you're right. Don't rule out any of that stuff, man. And don't think that because some certain things like that's happening to you, that it's not supposed to happen. It's an illusion. There's going to be things that's going to start happening on a daily basis. It's going to be things that we wouldn't even think could even happen on this planet. But it happened on this planet. Yeah. And so these are the testimonials. Like these are the testimonials. You see, like yin and yang.
Yes,
There's things. There's yin and yang, La Sarine, Madre de Agua, but all in the Caribbean they got these guys that go up to these. A fine ass woman will show up out of the water. And the guy try to get with her, and she take him down. They never hear from him again. But I had a guy in Chicago, in Detroit, when I go to lecture for him, he told me that his daddy don't believe in nothing. He don't believe in nothing, but was drunk one night and fell in the lake. But he tell him to this day, a mermaid came and saved him. And he one of them kind of people don't talk like that. You see what I'm saying? So, so all of those things, man. You see what I'm saying? Just chalk it up to experience, but what you need to do is to get you a notebook or a magical diary. And you need to jot down every little small thing until what you're thinking is these glimpses will become a whole world around you.
Right.
Will become a whole world around you.
Yeah. You are live in the remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Head to the boom, Ms. Blue. This is Brother Heru. I'm calling from the Bronx, New York, and greetings to you and Bobby.
All right.
Greetings.
All right. Bobby, I'm dying to talk to you about this, man, something that was channeled to me a little differently about this oil spill, because I find that, oftentimes whenever something had the world's attention like this oil spill, it's a really important time to really start looking at things that might not get much attention. And one of the things that was channeled to me is that when you look at the symbolism of this spread of this blackness is something that I found interesting. Now, last week we had something happen, and I thought was very profound. It got some media attention, but not a lot. And that was with this cat, Dr. Ventor, who worked on the human genome thing, and his discovery of what they're talking about is synthetic life. Now, what was
very
interesting
about
very
the
interesting.
Thing took on the cell took on. It was artificial life, and the cell took on the life of itself.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Life of
that
itself.
Android shit came true.
Right. Now, what was interesting is that Obama put a hold on it. Now, earlier this week, around 2 a.m. in the morning, came on twice. It was a program called Synthetic Life, Questions and Answers. Now, they had Ventor Now, this guy is the guy who's the father of the human genome, and Kurzweil sitting up there now. You probably know Kurzweil is the father of the synthesizer, so he worked with the vibrations of sound. He trying to live forever. For a white dude, whatever he working on, he look pretty good, and he also is the one who's the father of the scanner, i.e. cloning. Now, what I want to ask you, Bobby, is this, is like, because what I see, what I got from this is that this spread of this blackness pretty much to our oppressor would seem as if it's a toxic thing. And one of the side effects of that is lead, and when you look at lead, it's also mean lead. Our taking our lead. So I'm wondering, because what Venter said is that they putting this on the market. He first got, Obama was going to shut it down because the government was going to take it. They didn't want this to get out there like that. But he said he ain't getting no public funding. So what they did was, Venter is saying, we're going to sell what they calling bio blocks. So what I'm worried about is, are they going to try to take these bio blocks and create a melanated being with the consciousness of them to help distract us from our own liberation and rise?
No, see what has happened in this. That's why it's important for us to stay with our agenda. Remember this now, because see, that just creates fear. He don't have that thing. He just created a little cell. He ain't did no shit than we do with our motherfucking automobile out there. We got a spirit mobile. And this motherfucking car does amazing shit. It does amazing stuff. Like I said, we rode around doing a goddamn 100 on a broken axle for 4 months. The goddamn car hit a motherfucker on the bicycle, and the damn motherfucker, we saw the nigga leg cave in, and he kept on riding the bicycle. But they talk about that in the Hermetic text. Don't be blown away with this little bit of bullshit, this cracker. What it is he ain't created nothing that we ain't already had, because the Egyptians talk about that. That's why they would build them temples. They would build the temples and an inanimate object, and they would bring stuff from another dimension to another dimension. My point here is we can't invent shit of fear or what we think they might do. That shit is over. They ain't doing shit. They ain't hitting a lick out of goddamn snake. They've been into this metaphysical shit for over 150 years, and they ain't had one convert to Christ. Because if they did, we would know about it. We would feel its benefits. So don't even look. My point here is, I'm going to be honest with you, get out of the white boy's agenda. That's where you fail. Because what's happening here is this. We are on a fast track of becoming gods. Every day there's things that's happening to us. Now, if we worrying about that little bullshit or what they doing, that one little bullshit cell, you see what I'm saying? We retard our own process. You see what I'm saying? We retard our own process. My point here is they can't do jack. You see what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something, man. That little shit that they allowed us to see on TV with the little cell, that ain't half the shit that they've been doing by the thousands every day. And still yet, ain't running nothing. So my point here is, the thing about it here is gets us off our path, focusing on these motherfuckers and what they doing. Yes, that's their job. They're going to try to do this stuff until the very last minute. But at this particular time, it's the return of the gods, the Nomo. You see what I'm saying? And the Nomo and all, he can't hit a jack at shit, because believe me, they've already tried. So that little shit that they allowed to come on that TV is some old shit. It's like Dolly and the cloning. It's like some old shit. Like Dolly and the cloning. I heard in 1999 that our artificial intelligence came on a computer. So they've already done this shit. When they gave us Dolly the sheep, that was some shit from the 1940s. Hitler was a master cloner. So my point here is they ain't going to never show you nothing on that TV but old technology. Old technology. And a lot of times, guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to fish for new ideas. An idea that you just gave them.
Well, I just
Talking
felt
about
that
some artificial melanin. That's what they do. That's what the fuck they do. They try to fish for new ideas because they're at a fucking standstill. They got writer's block. You see what I'm saying? They're at a standstill. So what they do, they put out certain shit out here to get the response. You see what I'm saying? And so they go, oh, artificial melanin. But they've already done that. That's called nanotechnology. They got some shit called nano-melanin. My point here is, if you study, see, you are all in them crackers businesses. And right now, there is about 70 disciplines of your shit left behind by your people. You ain't accessing because you in that cracker shit. And guess what? He ain't hitting a lick out of goddamn snake. That motherfucker is bumping into shit blindly because it's over. It's over. Why the fuck you think they put out that goddamn Harry Potter? They worked on that shit for years and put it out. They try to get new ideas from their people. You see what I'm saying? And hoping some niggas latch on so that they can get them some stuff. So no, they ain't. All that shit is bullshit. That's laughable shit, man. Let me tell you something, man. They have killed 30 million of our people between 1989 and 2005, and you didn't even know about it. And yet, we are still in the fear of what they might do. God damn it, they do it every day. But the point about it here, man, is you got to focus on your agenda. Them crackers, look, that shit on TV and that shit, you done gave all these goddamn crackers names. Them motherfuckers ain't here to lick out a motherfucking snake. They can't do shit. They can't do shit. But you got to deal with what our people's dealing with. I'm not trying to say, I'm just trying to say, man, you on the wrong path by studying that bullshit because look, they got the Valvalarian Matrix books that came out. Thousands of things in the Soin research project they used to have, something. All this stuff, and every last one of them things and stuff, they ain't the driver of no fucking seat. We the fucking drivers. But now you got to realize this. Now here it is, you a damn driver of a ship, and you worrying about a cracker in a lab fucking around with a fucking artificial goddamn black IP. What about your damn ship? That's what I'm trying to say, man. We got to get out of their agenda. All the Illuminati and all the shit, you know, all that old shit there, man, all the conspiracy shit, believe me, anything they tell us, they've already done to us. You see, they've already done to us. You see, so that's all I'm just trying to say. Just like last time I talked, some brother, we got to find out what the government is getting. Fuck the government. They ain't going to do shit. They waiting on you. They're waiting on you. Stick a fork in them. They're already dead. They're going, Bobby, when you going to kill us? This shit is miserable. They're waiting on us. We are in charge. We are in command. But you never know that because you are still giving him the driver's seat with that bullshit. I saw that shit.
Well, actually, what I look at is, see, for me, I think it's a good thing. See, I think that the signs that they're trying to do these things means that they have this great concern.
No. But what I'm trying to say is what are you trying to do? See, right there, they try to do. See, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
See, my plan
Not
is this.
What they're trying
my
to do. Look, man, look. Let me explain something to you, man. I've been in this thing a minute. And I used to sit around in the early 90s analyzing everything they was going to do. But I found out that shit was old information. They had done it 30 years before I was born. Man, my point here is that we are at the precipice. You see what I'm saying? A better word, we are at the apex of our own shit. And I'm trying to say here and all, man, they put that shit out there to make you still think that they are in charge. It's called a catechism of impossibility. An ant in a coconut shell thinks it's a whole ocean. I'm trying to tell you, they have no power. They might run around this motherfucker, but they don't run this shit. We do. But the thing about it here is we are retarded in the process for the simple fact we still think they do. And that's what I've been trying to tell people. Get out of all that, what's going on. We need to find out what our agenda is. What are the guards pulling up to the state? That's what I'm trying to say. We need to find out what our agenda is. So that's all I'm trying to say. I understand where you're coming from, man, but look, hey, man, next time you call in, I want to know what planet you flew to. When you went in one doorway and came out the other doorway was in France or in Africa. Not what this cracker doing on the West Coast. I saw it, but I'm not impressed. You want to know why? Because I got more advanced mysteries than that bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
I can understand
and
that.
it's not enough time. You see, it's not enough time. You see,
right?
Like that brother just called in talking about he had some shit under his tongue to ski out some venom. That's the kind of shit we talking about. You see, so you know I understand where you're coming from, man. But you know what, man? I'm just trying to say, man. I've been in this shit a minute. I know when there's distraction. I know when there's some motherfucker trying to mislead us into some fear shit. You see what I'm saying? Mislead us into some fear shit. You know, on that particular level. You see, so I'm just trying to say that we are there, but we still thinking it's 1962. You see what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers are out of ideas. And what they're really doing is trying to say, what is your take on it? What is your take on it? You see, and they'll still be born from you. You see what I'm saying? Until you find out this shit is about you. What have you done? You see, that's what this thing is about. I'm just trying to say, man, I've heard it all before, man, but all that shit done, you actually literally come in and you invented a pathway for this cracker. Well, what about if they tap into this synthetic melanin? Well, goddamn it. Well, thank you. Thank you, motherfucker. I didn't know that shit till you told me. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. We got to quit inventing shit for them. You see, that's the reason why this shit stay alive. We keep them alive. We keep them alive. These motherfuckers will disappear. They used to tell me all in the 1990s. Them motherfuckers don't exist. Over and over, they don't exist. It's only in your mind. Get a damn movie called Revolver. It's got that boy Andre 2000 in it and Ray Liotta in them. Revolver. Get the movie called Revolver. And at the end of the damn movie, watch what all of the goddamn metaphysics and people are saying at the end, that everybody in the goddamn movie was creating this shit in their own mind. The enemy and the evil shit, you create in your mind. You see what I'm saying? So my point here is, yeah, we saw that on the TV because they already know. Some motherfuckers gonna give us some goddamn ideas. We are out of ideas. They've been, look, motherfuckers been out about 10, 15 years ago. That was it for them. And they've been borrowing shit from us. You see. Remember the Matrix movie? Came from that woman? See what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to say, that's all I'm trying to say. It's all good, brother. Give me some more questions.
All right. We're going to take a look at the time, Brother Bobby. I think we got like 54 seconds. And so I hated to cut Elder Haru off there, but we got 54 seconds. And for the next callers, you guys, we can continue on the show.
Even with the name Haru, light. Even with the name Haru, light. Do you think Haru going to be worried about some cracker, what this cracker doing, and he's supposed to be the light? You got to be an example of the name you choose for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because we caught up in all that shit, man, because we are programmed to catch up in all that stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to know, I'm trying to say, where are the gods coming forth? That's what we're trying to say. What is our agenda? What is our agenda? I just told you damn near an hour and a half on me going to one place, thinking I'm going to lecture here, and fall off in another dimension, doing something totally different. That's because you're on a journey with your own agenda. That's why we give these testimonials. You see what I'm saying? That's why we give these testimonials and stuff like that. No, this motherfucker ain't going to hit a lick at shit. You see what I'm saying? And it's not because he got us. He knows that our brains are atrophied. We're atrophied people. We got atrophied brains. Anybody know what that means? It means that the black race is in a suspended state of mental retardation. Let me explain something to you. Do you know that when you incarnate down here, there's supposed to be a certain amount of learning? And when people not of your race, or not even got nothing to do with no race, because this happened to everybody. Because I used to talk shit about the white man. Spirit said, you got to get out of this, because guess what? The black people are so mentally ill, so we are all in the same damn boat. We are all on the same level. You ain't higher than the white man. You so mentally ill. You so goddamn mentally ill until we said all this shit about the caveman. No, motherfucker, we are all in the same damn boat, because our mental illness is so is such at a high state until everything down here is just squalor. And let me tell you what I mean by this. If a society does not give you the adequate kind of learning, I'm not talking about education, that's training. That's training. You ever thought when you looked in them goddamn the syllabus in your head, you said, I don't really want to go through none of this shit. You see what I'm saying? The stuff you wanted to go through don't make no money. That's how they get you. You see what I'm saying? But that's training. But adequate stuff about your body and the world around you, if you don't receive those things, it brings on a state of mental illness. And so what they do here is there's variations of things that we need to learn that we can't learn, number one, because they gave us religion, and that takes up the slack. The religion tell you the only thing you got to do down here is be good. And that's good and fucking stupid. So as a result, because we don't learn certain things, as a result, we go to a state of mental illness. Just about most of the people in this country, black and white, is mental illness. It's just that ours is on a much more severe level. That's why I talked about the little white girls in the store, 7 years old, buying books on our spells, shit that we created thousands of years ago. You see what I'm saying? But they are exposed to things, and because we're not exposed to things, we don't get to learn, and as a result, we go deeper and deeper into mental illness. I'm not talking about the brother being a mental. I'm just trying to say here, we need to get into our shit, the shit that was prepared for us that activates this melanin, not shit that ultimately gives you fear to shut down the damn melanin. Now, the last time I talked to Richard King, and when that book first came out, the last book they did on melanin, Richard King and Dr. Ann Brown and the brother Thomas Moore and stuff, they concluded the last time, he said, what is the biggest enemy to melanin is fucking fear. At any level, whenever you think for another human being on what they might do to you, and you think it up out of your goddamn brain, that's fucking fear. And that's what shuts down our shit. We are in what they call something against learning, or whatever this thing is. But anyway, let's go to the next caller.
All right.
In those signs, but as we are evolving into gods, we can access the whole zoo type and do all of that. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening with the DNA. We're not necessarily just fixed to a house, especially if you are conscious and you are awake. Now, the goyim, or what they call the dross, is fixed to certain things.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Now, this is one where we're going to make a call on. If you are in the New York and New Jersey area, take your ass down and see the King Tut exhibit. Here goes again. We are very inferior people. Now, that shit, they're going to be 6 months. And I guarantee you, some of you asshole conscious people will not go see it. Why? Because you haven't been exposed to things. You haven't been real things. That's what we got to do. Break out of the goddamn pack. This shit came to Atlanta, and for 6 months, in the last days, niggas had to run down to see the damn shit, and some people didn't see it at all. You see, but people went to see it and had all kind of experiences. The experiences that were going that ended up going on after it was long gone. So the point I'm trying to make, if you are in those particular areas, go see the damn exhibit. Don't be a nigger. That's the worst shit on the planet. A fucking no good ass nigger. You see what I'm saying? Go see the doggone exhibit and get the quickening, get the stuff. You see what I'm saying? Let me give you this way. Every white motherfucker with sneakers on, every white person who had toenails, every white child that had goddamn fingernails, went to the one down here in Atlanta. Went to it in Atlanta. We are animals. Just like, you know, you could take an animal, there's an event that happened, but you know, that hog just going to stand and he's only going to be worried about the goddamn slop. It be raining, he still be chewing. Well, that's what we are. We've been reduced down to a certain state. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. I want to hear this shit. White folks, man, are motherfucking 30 years ahead of us, even if they are not conscious. because they have a problem. They got people. But the thing about it here is the average white folks are exposed to things. Let me give you an example of what I mean. We used to laugh at white folks when we see them on TV at their parties because they wasn't dancing. They were just standing around talking. You know what I'm saying? Standing around talking. You see us, we just are dancing under dancing under dancing. When you done came in contact with people. That's because when you engage in so much conversation, over the course of so many umpteen years, you get to be exposed with something. You see what I'm saying? Even if later on this conversation come up about something, you go, oh, I've heard of that before. Because you're always in a system of exposure when you have multiple conversations. What we do, motherfucking dancing. You see what I'm saying? There's a time for that. But the point I'm trying to make, we used to laugh at white folks when we see them on TV. What the fuck is that? They just stand around talking. And that's the problem. Why the fuck you think that Starbucks is so popular? Now, we live in the West End, right up the street from all the 5 schools, and they ain't got no Starbucks. I say no because Starbucks make their money off of motherfuckers come up in there with a conversation. You see what I'm saying? Not just the goddamn coffee. And they've been rich off that shit. The point I'm trying to make here is we're not exposed enough. When I seen them 2 7-year-old white girls buying spell books, and one was buying hypnosis and stuff like that, and they were 7. Let you know, man, that damn so advanced. But I'm trying to say, but when you don't expose yourself to something, it leads to the onset of mental illness. If the brain, let me explain what I'm talking about here. Let's say when you get pregnant, a lot of women got to go to Lamar's class. That is because they have to work, because there's an old thing when a lot of people used to die back in the day. They would sit around. I had a cousin like that in the 60s. She sat around. In the 50s, she just sat around on her fucking ass. And the baby grew to her fucking womb, and when the baby came out, it ripped her apart. Well, the same thing with the brain. The brain is there for learning. And when it doesn't get a certain amount of information and exposure to things, it becomes atrophied. You see what I'm saying? It becomes atrophied. And that's when the onset of mental illness. You know, a lot of things we do that we think is goddamn funny, and a lot of things we do is a form of mental illness. So what I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to say, for those people in them surrounding areas, take your ass to see the fucking exhibit. You see what I'm saying? See the exhibit and stuff like that. And get out of another culture, you see what I'm saying, of just being shit on a fucking stick.